ongoing probe into the 5,000 crore Muda case that seems to be intensifying. With the Enforcement Directorate in its findings shared to the Lokayukta, which has registered the FIR on directions of the Special Court, stated that there is evidence of several irregularities in the transfer of 14 sites by the Mysuru Urban Development Authority to the wife of Karnataka Chief Minister. Now, in a detailed report, the ED has stated that over 1,000 plots of land having a market value of exceeding 700 crores were allotted illegally. It alleged that most of the land allotments were in the name of dummy or benami individuals. Naming the Chief Minister's wife, the agency said the CM's wife projected the illegal land acquired through influence as untainted property acquired through gift. Now, it asserted that Siddaramaia's personal assistant wielded undue influence in the office of Muda. It went on to say that there is a deep nexus of Muda officials with the real estate businessmen. So this is the update that is now coming across as far as developments that is now concerned with this report by the Enforcement Directorate, that it has submitted its findings to the Lokayukta. We have Bhavtosh joining us live right now. Bhavtosh, good morning. The said irregularities that the ED seems to be pointing out in its report to the Lokayukta, if you can give us the details, please.
Good morning, Amita. As far as these findings are concerned, these findings are very explosive. So remember, Enforcement Directorate case is based on the FIR that was filed by the Lokayukta, and Lokayukta is conducting its own criminal investigation. They had in fact carried out their own searches. But ED has shared its finding with Lokayukta after conducting their two searches and after questioning some Muda officials. So what ED has said is that the scam is not only limited to Siddaramaia's wife, but it goes much beyond that. They have in fact identified over 1,079 sites, and that the total value of the scam as far as this scam is concerned, 700 crore rupees. Now, what they had said in the investigation that has been carried out so far is that one of the close associates of Karnataka CM is a person who was in direct touch with some nexus of builders, businessmen, who was illegally allotting properties as well as lands in and around Mysuru. Now, what they have said, further said in their investigation is that CM's wife, she also had in fact illegally acquired the land. Now, what the entire argument of Siddaramaia's wife was that she got the land as a compensation, but ED's investigation revealed, now these are mere allegations of ED, this required further probe, is that she in fact got a land in a prime area. Now, this is what they have said, that this should be looked in by Lokayukta, which is carrying out the predicate offense. They have said that instead of getting the same kind of land, she got a land in a prime area whose value is much more than the land that should have been given to her. They have further pointed out the investigation that ED had carried out is that they have satellite imagery that clearly shows that there has been usurping of land in and around Mysuru, which goes beyond what should have been given as a compensation. Now, these are the claims of Enforcement Directorate. This letter was in fact written to Lokayukta around 5 days back. And they have said that this should be included in the findings of Lokayukta, which is conducting its own predicate offense and predicate investigation.
So the findings that are now concerned, Bhavtosh, thank you very much for joining in at this point. We also talk about as far as what is now being touted as evidence on part of the Enforcement Directorate when it is now submitted those findings to the Lokayukta. Let's take you through the charges one by one. The land sale of a sham transaction intentionally that has been made on paper, and here when it comes to the CM's wife, that is Siddaramaia's wife, has been projected the illegal land acquired through gifts. Now, another charge that is now being leveled when it comes to 14 sites that were allotted illegally to the wife of the Karnataka Chief Minister. There was tampering, there was undue favors, there was forgery that seems to be evident on the investigation part. And when it comes to the role of the PA, of the personal assistants of the Chief Minister, he was the one who was wielding undue influence on the Muda. And now, when it comes to the land that is said to be worth over the market price of 700 plus crores, that has been illegally allotted. And most of these allotments that were made in the name of dummy persons or benami individuals. Now, there have been real estate businessmen beneficiaries of the illegal allotments, and when it comes to these illegal allotments that is now being said of the site, they made money and for vehicles as far as the charge that was being leveled. We also talk about when it comes to the evidence that further reveals that Muda officials and businessmen, there was a certain nexus that was working around, and these are the irregularities meanwhile that has now been submitted in a report, the findings to the Lokayukta, which has also been conducting its individual investigation. All right, those are the updates that are now coming in from Karnataka. Let's shift focus